Austria for the men's final of the 1997 Austria Table Tennis Open. Gino right along with Anders Sundström, former national team coach and player from Sweden. And there's quite a men's final set up here. And you got to like Zoran Primorac's chances, because if he wins this final, he vaults all the way to #1 on the pro ranking.
Yeah, I think that's the first thing everybody asks themselves, if Zoran can win again, since he has a tremendous confidence, or if Karlsson can take the upper edge of Zoran in the final.
Zoran is very familiar with it. He's already won once on a close circuit this year by winning the China Open, and he also won the World Cup event in France. Peter Karlsson, on the other hand, is trying to make his way up the world rankings.
Peter Karlsson had a year with a bit of injuries, and I think Peter Karlsson is trying to play him back in an overall very good shape, and the player he used to be a couple of years ago when he was ranked among the top 10 in the world. So I think, regardless of the results of this final, I think Peter Karlsson have to feel some kind of satisfaction to reach here, because that proves that he's in shape again.
On his way back. Of course, much of the attention in Swedish table tennis, you would know this better than anybody else, has been given to Jan-Ove Waldner, who has just been unbelievably impressive on the international circuits.
Yes, that's true, but I think also many recognize that Swedish victories very often comes out of some kind of a team effort as well. So I think Peter Karlsson and Jörgen Persson and the other guys is an important link in the Swedish team.
Spoken like a true national team coach.
Well, maybe so, yeah, but I think that's true in one way, because they have many players now who can step up and take the responsibility. And that's one of the reasons I think Sweden and China have been dominant for a long time. It's the same in China, where many players can take the responsibility and carry the burden.
And that really is a very valid point, because when you've got the team built around a national program like that, it's going to make a big difference in the long term.
It is, and I think Zoran knows that, which now has been quite alone in Croatia. Needs to find other way of being in shape and getting practice partners in various places in Europe. So I think he knows very well how it is to be a team member or carry the burden himself.
And right now he's not having much problem with Peter Karlsson. He leads 8-2 on the change of service. And Karlsson at this point feeling like he may be a little bit overmatched. Pretty impressive on that point.
It is, and for Peter Karlsson, even if he's a very strong backhand side, that's the key shot for Peter Karlsson, that he can make space for himself in the middle of the table and play forehand on these balls. If he can do that, he's very dangerous from both flanks. Interesting in this matchup is that both players have very, very strong backhand sides.
He just caught the corner of the table.
He's playing like he played in the final against Karlsson in China. He's playing everything on the table, and everything is of 100% power. Look at that backhand block.
Right down the line of the table, and Primorac came right back up the line. Interesting strategy there by both of them. Karlsson trying to catch Primorac off guard, and then Primorac came right back at him up the line. Primorac now in complete control of game number 1, leading 11-4 and on service. Really good look at aggressive Primorac, look at intensity on his face.
Yes, and you can also see the powerful topspin play by Primorac. He was mixing both backhand and forehand topspin without no problem. So that's the strength of Primorac. And there, Karlsson hitting the edge.
He needs a bit of a break at this point.
He needs a couple of breaks, I would guess.
This is such a big tournament for Karlsson because he comes in ranked number 19 pro circuit. If he can get into this top 16, which he will now just by making it to this final, even if he loses in this final, he'll be ranked number 13 at the end of the day, which is a very, very big step because that puts him in the top 16, earning him a spot at the Hong Kong Grand Final if he can stay in the top 16.
36.
After the Austrian Open, there's still 2 events left, the Swedish Open and the French Open. So that will be key for Karlsson to perform well and keep that place for Hong Kong.
This, of course, is stock number 12.
Like you're saying, Gino, it looks like Zoran has control over this set. He's playing very steady and he's also winning the rallies almost every time.
Zoran Primorac 15-6.
7-15.
Important for Karlsson in this stage is to not give up the first set. I think he has to work himself into the game and into the match. And regardless the outcome of the first set, I think he must gain some points here to really put something into Zoran's mind.
And gaining some valuable experience, really, because he's not surrendering this game.
Oh, no. No way. I mean, it's only the first set out of 5. So what can happen still?
But, I mean, even in this one particular set, rather than sitting back, he's still being aggressive, even though he's a long way back in this game.
He has to do that. Otherwise, I mean, giving up the first set completely without any fight
69.
only helps Primorac to gain confidence. So I think anything which he can scramble and take here is benefit for him, an advantage for him in the second set. He has to find ways of getting Zoran on guard here, off guard.
Primorac has great mobility at the edge of the table, as you just saw there. His agility, his ability to react, makes it so difficult on opponents to catch him off guard. 17-9.
Playing without any pressure and playing very relaxed, and then you can do these kind of shots. Very difficult shot to make, but it's there. And that proves exactly how confident Zoran is.
19-9, game number 1. Best of 5 set, Austrian Open final.
29.
Zoran Primorac leading 20-9. Set point.
10-20 Karlsson.
2010, change of service. Here, Karlsson, I think the hill's just a little too large to climb over this time.
It's larger than Mount Everest, I would guess.
Got to regroup and come back in the second set. And that'll do it for the first set. 21-10. Zoran Primorac wins set number 1. We're in the men's final. Set number 2 action coming up right after this. Sweden men's final. Primorac winning the first set easily 21-10. Now for serve here in set number 2. Gino right along with Anders Sundström, and Anders, really that first set was all Zoran Primorac, which is not a huge set.
No, it wasn't. Zoran playing with a lot of confidence. For Peter here to really trying to turn around this match, I think he has to be more aggressive. He has to take a few chances. And also when these two players play, since both of them have a very strong backhand side, the rallies backhand to backhand will be important, that Peter wins occasionally, so he can set a few things in Zoran's mind, because now Zoran is playing his game more or less without any disturbance. So Peter has to find the holes in Zoran's ball, otherwise this could be a big story.
I think sometimes when you come up against a player, Zoran's ability, you may be used to using your best game to go against somebody else, and it works. But then when you get up to somebody of this caliber, you realize that even playing your style of game, you're in trouble against your opponent, because he knows how to counteract you. And that's when you suddenly find yourself trying to respond.
Yeah, and that, when these situations comes, that's when you prove how good you are as a player, when you need to change your game, when you need to do something different, which is basically not part of your original game plan. And I think that shows the great players, when they can change tactics and they can change the way of style of playing.
I think the ability to adjust your tactics and adjust your game plan is the difference really between a player who's, say, ranked in the top 5 in the world versus those who are ranked in the top 50.
Yeah.
Once you get in the elite class, you've got to be able to adjust. You can't just count on your own abilities.
Also, there always coming a stage in tournaments where your game doesn't work and you're still able to win that round. Then you show class.
Long 2-7.
This kind of mistakes he cannot afford if he wants to get closer to Primorac. I think maybe he should try to get Primorac more in the middle of the table. On the flanks, Zoran is very, very strong. So try to play him more close to the body. Try to get some mistakes.
If you're just joining us now midstream in our coverage of the Pro Circuit Tour, you've missed some great action. Earlier in the season, Zoran Primorac won the China Open. You can get all caught up, though, with some scores, results, all the information you could possibly ask for from the International Table Tennis Federation on their website on the World Wide Web at www.ittf.com. Take a look back at all the scores and results of the previous 11 events. This is stop number 12 and 14. And look ahead to the grand final in Hong Kong. It's all on the webpage, www.ittf.com.
Feels like Peter Karlsson now is a little bit more better in the game. Very good receive there and a good forehand topspin, which made the point. See if he can come back with a few other good receives and come closer. That didn't work.
Did.
He took advantage over 2 long service and pushed all the way with maximum force and power with his backhand topspin.
And what that shows you is Karlsson still has his concentration.
Oh yeah, he still struggles to get into the match, but obviously he needs 100% of his concentration to, if possible, turn this around.
And the crowd here at Linz is trying to get behind Peter Karlsson. To encourage him to get back into this because he is now on serve, trailing 5-10. And it worked. 6-10.
That is maybe Peter Karlsson's best shot. Backhand topspin over the table. Very, very powerful. Look at that one. Can't do it much better. One more.
Wow, Peter Karlsson not ready to send up the white flag just yet. Karlsson's about to take advantage of his opportunities on serve.
7-12.
That hurt because he was coming back and it seemed like he was closing the gap. And 2 bit easy mistakes. He's widening the gap immediately.
Interesting rally there because Peter Karlsson had Primorac backing up, but just could not close the deal.
That's right. If you look very carefully here, Peter Karlsson playing the forehand topspin just in the body and pretty much is able to react on that one. And that makes the turning point.
38.
Zoran Primorac is just on his game, leading 13-8. Here in set number 2, having won the first set 21-10.
48.
14-8.
Fifty-eight.
Couple of easy points for Primorac again, which obviously for Karlsson is very damaging. Oh, that's a beauty.
Was he moving him around nicely there? Boy, there are times where Primorac just puts on a clinic.
Once again comes this backhand we have talked so much about. All the way down the line.
9-16, Karlsson.
It's interesting, you know, you were speaking earlier about support group and team efforts. Stark contrast between these two. Because Peter Karlsson is a member of Team Sweden where there's a great support factor. Where Zoran Primorac, since Croatia gained its independence, has really almost become a one-man show. But in fairness, his personality type lends itself to exactly that because he is quite an individual.
Yes, and basically table tennis is an individual sport.
10-16.
Once again, sometimes that helps if you have team members who can take off your burden once in a while. Table tennis in Olympics, for instance, is only about individuals, singles and doubles. There is no team event. While in the World Championships, there is a team event competition.
11-17.
Good effort by Karlsson. 11-17. You can see that Karlsson is still thinking. He's still thinking about moving Primorac around a little bit.
And he needs the 2 points here in no server now to get 13-7 and then reasonable contact.
11-18.
Once again, Primorac is saying no, not too close.
And I think you're absolutely right. I think Primorac really is just controlling the pace completely of this match. Primorac won the first set 21-10, leads here in the second set 18-12, and play a best of 5 final here at the Austrian Open. Second, a little bit more.
Once again, no hesitation in going with full speed.
Just look at Primorac's service, how tight it stays at the top, and how effective it is. Primorac is long, opening the door.
Close the door now completely.
He certainly can.
Yeah.
He can close it on this set right now. On service, set point, an opportunity to move up 2 sets to love. Long. Karlsson will leave at least one more point.
Down 15-20 and still have your service. There's still chance to turn it around if you can get 1 or 2 quick points. Getting some nerves from the others, then you have a chance to maybe get 20 all, but it's obviously a difficult situation.
And there's ever the optimist.
Yeah, you have to think positive if you want to win matches and to
16-20.
And look, he's trying to prove you correct. 16-20. All he's got to do is do that 4 more times. 3 more times. And as you're looking at the soothsayer here right now.
Well, it's still a big advantage, Primorac, so yes, 3 chances not.
Oh, don't back down now. 17-20. 18-20.
I'll start to get now I think now it can be very see what happens at this point.
3 straight points. Peter Karlsson, stay alive. Zoran Primorac on set point. And that's that's the end of the run. Primorac finally slammed the door shut on the second set. Leads 2 sets to love. The third set, be a table tennis open. Uniretta, along with Anders Sundström, Zoran Primorac receiving some encouraging words from his coach. His coach has got some thoughts for him. I'm not sure what else he can say. He's up 2 sets to love, while Peter Karlsson speaking to his coach. And the coach is trying to encourage him not to surrender, not to give up. He did have the big comeback at the end of the second set. He was trailing 20-15, came back, 3 unanswered points, but lost the second set 20-18, lost the first set. The first set really was all Primorac. He lost the first one 21-10, so he trails 2 sets to love going into the third set. And Anders, you're a former Swedish national team head coach. What would you say to Peter Karlsson in this position?
Well, it's even if it's 2-0 down, I think there's things you can adjust. Like I mentioned, you can think of how to play the ball in different directions, trying to get some errors out of Primorac. Trying to encourage him to take some chances, take some risks, trying to be more aggressive, and trying to change a few things. I think at this point it's trying to grab the small pieces and build on them. Obviously a very difficult situation. But,
is that difficult to convince your player to go out there and try to win the small victories as opposed to looking at the overall scene?
No, I don't think so, because Peter Karlsson knows very well as well. 2-0 down doesn't mean that you have lost the match. Still have 3 sets to go and 3 sets to win. And that happens very often in top sports, that you can switch around things. But obviously, to find the holes in Primorac's guard at the moment is very tough for anybody. He's playing with so much confidence, so he's doing, even his weak spots are very strong at the moment. I would try to play him very much close to the body, sometimes mix also the fastballs with a lot of spin, to try to create something, some errors. Difficult. You can see how he's playing now. He's playing with a lot of confidence. He has power in all his shots.
So we'll watch that. We'll see if Karlsson maybe tries to go Primarac's body a little. All even 4-4 in the third set.
Yeah, or if Peter Karlsson can find a way to win the rallies between backhand to backhand, then he can certainly gain something, because then Primorac knows that he can continue playing better.
Bit of a bad break here. Karlsson just caught the net.
Please.
Falls behind for the first time. Missed the third set. Saw Karlsson backing Primorac right off the table.
Karlsson.
That kind of move is very, very important to Karlsson in his game, when he can play his backhand and finish off with a forehand topspin like he did there. That means that his footwork is working and that he's aggressive in another way than just playing backhand. So that is an important factor to Peter Karlsson's game, to have his feet working 100%, so he can move from backhand to forehand. That's very important.
6-5.
Back up on top. Zoran Primorac has not been ahead in this third set.
That showed what I said about Primorac's confidence. Very good, powerful ball by Karlsson, but immediately responds.
Net. Karlsson again on top.
6.
There's another Karlsson. Ulf Karlsson is the coach.
7-5.
That must be so difficult as a coach not to be able to say anything to your player during the game itself. Because there must be times you must just want to yell something out like, go to the body, go to the body, move him around, and you just cannot say anything.
Sometimes as a coach you take that chance as well.
And then depending on how much grace the official is willing to give you.
That's correct.
But of course you never tread that line yourself, does it?
Never.
Peter Karlsson has never trailed in this game. He's at 8-7.
9-7. 9.
From Peter Karlsson's point of view, that's the kind of mistake you want to see from Zoran. You haven't seen it for 2.5 sets. Suddenly you see one of these few mistakes he's doing, which actually can boost your confidence a bit.
Because it gives you a sense that there's hope.
Yeah, that's right. And that Zoran Primorac is human, that can make errors.
Nine. Again, I know.
Must-win situation, Peter Karlsson. Or the title goes to Zoran Primorac.
10-9.
That kind of mistakes there's no way he can afford that. It's a good chance to kill the ball and make the point, but he's missing. And from this kind of situation where he is now, it's devastating, all these mistakes.
And for the first time in this set, Primorac now leads 11-9. Karlsson just trying to regroup now, slow that pace down, but really you're not going to psychologically affect Zoran Primorac.
Here comes a key in the third set, because if he wants to stay in this match and in the set, he needs to have a very good service game here. 9-11 down. He needs at least 3-2.
9-12. 10-12.
12. Karlsson speaking back. On the upside, just making it to this final, Karlsson now goes into the top 16. All the way up to number 13. That's a huge step for him towards the grand finals. And he's gaining all kinds of valuable experience here against Primorac. At a 12 in the third set. First 2 sets going to Zoran Primorac.
Left.
He's actually making 4-1 in his own service, which means he's still in the game right now. He has 1 ball advantage, 1 point advantage on Zoran here. Now we can see if he can receive reasonable okay and at least get 15-15 and have his own service.
From what you've seen after the layout, is Peter Karlsson back on his game?
He's very much in the right direction to be back in his game, yeah. He's playing perhaps the best player in the world at the moment, Zoran Primorac. So it's not an easy task for him here, so he's definitely on his way back, yeah.
Peter Karlsson trailing 2 sets to love. At the very least, would love to take at least 1 game in this match and then start from there. Like you said, Anders, basically look for some of the small victories initially. And then if things start to roll in your way and you've got the momentum, you never know.
No, and if you're on a very good path, you can go all the way. I mean, nothing says that you can't turn around a 2-0 down to a 3-2 victory. If you take, like you're saying, the small pieces and trying to put them together, maybe counting every single service.
The guy picking on Primorac, boy, he is not sitting back at all. He continues to play aggressively. He wants to make this 3 straight. The look of intensity on his face. He's just a terrific character on this tour.
He's pumped up, and you can see also how much effort he's playing in every single question. You see his footwork, and you can see the massive work in the time.
And the fans here in Linz are certainly appreciating his play.
Yeah, and the quality of the game has improved a lot since the first set. It was a one-sided affair.
16.
Karlsson back on top. He is not willing to surrender.
He's giving him a fight now. That you can see that he's giving Primorac a fight.
And I think your point is very valid. A huge difference between
Set.
the Peter Karlsson that opened this match and the Peter Karlsson that's playing right now, just in the last 3 games. A dramatic difference.
16-17.
I would guess Peter Karlsson needs at least 18-17 here now in his own service.
16-17. All.
17.
Eighteen,
17. Zoran Primorac. Now he's on serve. Peter Karlsson's got some work to do now.
Yeah, Zoran has a golden opportunity here now to win the title, that's for sure. 18-17 in his own service means that the 3-2 in his own service wins the title. So see if Peter can be aggressive and trying to go for some chances. Maybe the way to do.
Long 19-17. Zoran Primorac has had quite a year on the pro circuit tour this year. He has already won the China League. He's won a World Cup event in France. This would be his second pro circuit tour victory of the year.
19-18.
He leads 19-18, up 2 sets to love. And with this performance here in the final, Primorac will move into the top 3 for sure. If he can hang on and win it, he'll move into the #1 spot in the circuit ranking. But right now, he looks to be in good shape to do exactly that. He leads 2018. Set, match, and championship one. And it's over. Zoran Primorac in straight sets, 21-10, 21-18, 21-18 to win the 1997 Austria Open title. And with that, Anders, Zoran Primorac becomes the #1 ranked player on the pro circuit this year.
Yes, and it looks like Zoran is the best player in the world at the moment. Winning 2 tour events plus the World Cup proves that Zoran is very, very difficult to beat at the moment. Even though I thought that Karlsson was giving him a fight, at least in the third set.
Peter Karlsson came a long way. Really, he was not even in the first set at all. The second one starting to get there. The third one made it very, very tight. But really, the class of international table tennis right now, Zoran Primorac of Croatia. With today's victory, he moves into #1 in the overall rankings with 2 events left before the grand final in Hong Kong. Meanwhile, on the women's side, Wang Nan of China continues to show the way. Again, just 2 stops left on the pro circuit as we prepare for the finals in Hong Kong. From here, we head to our next stop in Kalmar, Sweden for the Swedish Open. Until next time, for Anders Thunstrom and the entire crew, I'm Gino Reda saying so long and thanks for joining us.